everyone? Welcome back to another video. So it's about 7 o'clock in the morning at the moment. I decided to get up early, watch the sunrise, come out to these rock pools, and this is where the adventure begins. Throughout the next week, I'm going to be exploring a couple different locations, and my goal is to look for some deadly creatures. Today, the one that I'm looking for could easily put me in the hospital and potentially even kill me. Hopefully going to be handling these creatures, getting them up close to the camera, because the species that I've got in mind is something that I've always wanted to see and have only caught on one other occasion, and that is the stonefish. This is an incredibly venomous species of fish where if I got spiked by the dorsal spikes, that could be it for me. So I say we start walking around these rock pools. I got some snorkeling gear in the car. We need to cover a lot of ground and look in a lot of places if we want to find a stonefish. It's going to be a big mission, but I'm up for it. So I say we get into it and hopefully by the end of the day, find a big stonefish and get it up close to the camera. Now these stonefish, right, are incredibly elusive and they're not something you can actively target on a fishing rod. Often what will happen is you'll be fishing for another species and you'll be lucky enough to cast near a stonefish because these guys are ambush predators. I probably shouldn't be not wearing shoes while looking for stonefish because if I stand on one, I'm gonna be in a world of pain. So this right here is the black sea cucumber. Now these guys can grow up to 60 centimeters in length, and what they're doing, how they get that big, is they're feeding on all the organic matter around these rock pools. They're one of the most common species to find around here, and yeah, pretty cool. It's cool to see them walking around. I'll actually get a time lapse of these guys just moving around in a second, just to show you all how they move around, what they feed on and everything. But yeah, we're gonna get this guy back in the water and keep on searching for that stonefish. So I've been walking around these rock pools for a couple of hours, still haven't found a stonefish, but that's alright. I was gonna go for a snorkel, but the viz was terrible, the wind picked up, the tide was coming in. My mate just called me up, he said he thinks he knows a place where we might be able to find a freshwater stonefish, more commonly known as the bull route. So we're gonna hit some tracks, get in the cars, head out there, and hopefully we'll be able to find a freshwater stonefish up in this creek system. It's the next day at the moment. You saw yesterday we went out, did a couple tracks, and today I've come out to this creek system that I found while we were out four-wheel driving. I'll give you a bit of a backstory on why I've decided to come here and look for freshwater stonefish. So a couple years ago in this exact creek system, my mate was walking up the creek and ended up standing on a freshwater stonefish. He ended up being taken to the hospital, and I really wanted to find one of these freshwater stonefish. I walked for about 50 meters up this creek system and I'd already spotted a big one. I attempted to catch it that night, but it ended up getting away. These freshwater stonefish really like this fast flowing water in the creek system. So I'm just gonna be walking up these pools, surveying hundreds of meters of creek, back and forth with my mate until we find one, and then I think you know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna pick it up and handle it. I don't plan to get stung today, and if I do, it's gonna be 100% my fault, but I say we start walking up the creek, hopefully find a stonefish, catch it in this net, and get it up close to the camera. Preferably while looking for freshwater stonefish, you want to be wearing shoes, but you know what? I might just close my eyes and feel around with my feet for them. Definitely don't do that. I forgot my shoes, so got to be extra careful. See, in all areas like this, just down in the shallows here, this is where these stonefish love hiding. The thing that I love about them so much is that they will actually stand their ground. They won't try to swim off. They know what they've got. They've got incredibly venomous spines. And if you happen to stand near one, it's not gonna move away. It's gonna wait till you step on it and you'll be in a world of pain.
Did you see one?
Up here. And to think that I've been walking up this creek system barefoot, see that over there? Sitting in the shallows? That is what we've been looking for this whole time. That right there is the freshwater stonefish. Just to test out a theory that I've got, why so many people get stung is because these stonefish rely on their camouflage and their spines. If they see you coming, they're not gonna take off. So I think that if I put my hand right next to this stonefish, it's gonna stand its ground. And I think that's why so many people get stung. Look at that, still sitting right there. My hand is literally right next to this stonefish. It's standing its ground. If I was to apply pressure down on that stonefish right now, 100% I'd be taking a trip to the hospital. Now let's get him in the net. I'm just gonna try guide him into the net. Look at that. Look at that right there. That is the bull rout, more commonly known as the freshwater stonefish. See all those spikes up here? That's what we have to watch out for. Take a look at that little fella right there. Just in case I caught a stonefish today, I bought a little fish bowl. I'm gonna fill it up with water, put him in it so you can get to see him up close under the water. Maybe put it over here. All right, now very carefully, we're just gonna put him in here. There we go. That right there is the bull rout. That is so cool to see him in this little fish tank like that. Now, the reason why these freshwater stonefish are so dangerous is because these spikes that you can see sticking up at the top there, they have 15 dorsal spikes, and if you step on them, put your hand on them, apply pressure to them, you'll be in a world of pain. And how these spikes work, right, is if an animal or a human is walking up a creek and applies pressure, it will kind of act like a hypodermic needle, injecting the venom into the flesh, and that's where the fun begins. Now, the bull rout is responsible for the most fish stings in the upper tidal regions in Queensland and New South Wales. The most common places where people get stung are in popular swimming spots, because that's where the majority of the human contact with this species happens. These bull rout are ambush predators. Even when I went up to this bull rout before and put my hand right next to it, he was staying still. And that's the exact same thing that they do when they're hunting. They'll sit there for hours waiting for a little fish or a little shrimp to swim past, gulp out, get the shrimp in their mouth and eat it. They live all across the east coast of Australia, and this one right here is about full grown. They live from about 8 to 12 years in the wild and are without a doubt one of the coolest species that are in this creek system. Something you have to watch out for, but if you go into their habitat and step on one, it's 100% your fault. You're going into their area. Now, it's really cool seeing it in that tank, but what I'm gonna do now, get it out in the net and maybe even pick it up and show you guys a bit closer. So we'll just tip him out into the net, just like that. And that right there is a little bull rout. Take a look at that, picking them up. You see all those spikes across the top there? That is something that you definitely don't want to be done by. These guys are just sitting in these creeks here in southeast Queensland, New South Wales, all across the east coast of Australia. And that is a landmine that you do not want to walk on. If I was to get stung by this fish right now, I would be in a world of pain. I'd have to rush to the hospital. Compared to the saltwater stonefish, this venom isn't as bad, but this is a good warm-up for next time. I'm definitely going to be going out looking for the saltwater stonefish, catching it with my hands and holding it. So if you want to see a video like that, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. Until next time though, I think we're going to get this guy back in the water. But what an awesome experience. Take a look at that right there, the bull rout. Good luck catching all your little shrimp, just like that. Down there, right where we found him, we're gonna leave him be, and be careful when you're walking in these creek systems. I definitely recommend wearing shoes, just like I am right now.